Hello, world. Warmest welcome to World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Million Show. This is the show where we celebrate brilliant minds from around the world who share with us their story, one story at a time. Ready to get empowered? Our special guest is Honorable Madam Chong, Penang State Legislative Assembly member for Padang Lalang, State Minister for Social Development and Non-Islamic Religious Affairs of Malaysia. We'll get to know her inspiring story in a short while. Thank you for joining us live or in replay. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn, your host and Global Media Relations of World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is striving for humanity. This Inspiring Million Show is your show. As always, we encourage you to engage and interact with us. Please help us spread inspiration to the world by sharing this link. Join our discussion by putting in the comments box your comments, greetings, or questions that you would like to ask our guest, Honorable Madam Chong of Malaysia. We would love to read them later on in the show. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company and brighten your day as we share love, peace, and goodwill. It's the month of March, and we're still celebrating International Women's Month. With Women's Month, we highlight the amazing achievements of women who lead the way toward equality, building an equal future for all. A woman leading the way in Malaysian politics is here with us today, Honorable Madam Chong, a Malaysian politician who has served as member of the Penang State Executive Council and the Pakatan Harapan State Administration, and as member of the Penang State Legislative Assembly for Padang Lalang since May 2018. She served as member of Parliament of Bukit Mertajam from November 1999 to May 2013 and MLA of Penang for Batu Lancang from April 1995 to November 1999. She is Women Wing Chief of DAP. Honorable Madam Chong is Penang State Legislative Assembly member for Padang Lalang, State Minister for Social Development and Non-Islamic Religious Affairs Malaysia. So let us all welcome a woman for others, especially for women and children, Honorable Madam Chong of Malaysia. Selamat datang, welcome, and terima kasih. Thank you very much for joining us today. Apa kabar?
I'm fine, kabar baik, Miss Viva. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm very happy to be on your show, Inspiring Millions show, which I feel that's what we women need to spread the our message. Yeah, so thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madam Chong for joining us today. So thank you also to WHD's Secretary General of Malaysia, Professor Dato Dr. G.P. Doraisamy, for arranging this discussion.
Yes, he is a friend of mine, and he is also from Penang. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. So let's get started. Honorable Madam Chong, could you please briefly share of your younger days, your personal family background, your education and occupation?
Okay, I come from a very small, simple new village in Malaysia. Yeah, it's a new village. It's about I think about 100 households. When I was young, I went to the primary school in the village. Then I move on to I cycled to school when I was in the secondary school. Later, I continue my studies in Agricultural University of Malaysia and graduated as a Bachelor of Arts. That's my simple background. But I have 10 brothers and sisters. Yeah, a lot. But in my mother's generation, that is how women have most of the women have 10 children or 8 children. Some had 12. Yeah. That was the woman at that time. Then I work many jobs because we are at a new village. So my mother, my parents, they have their own small plantation. So we all work in the plantation. All my brother, sister, we know how to tap rubbers. We help our parents to tap rubbers when we are going in the afternoon class or during Saturday, Sunday, during school holiday. We all help out in the plantation. That's how I came from a very small, simple, new village. At that time, not many girls goes to school. In fact, I'm who am I today? That of our interest of gender equality is because I observed that during that time, all women went to work in the morning. When they came back, they have to take care of their households, they take care of the children, they also pick the fireworks and do many things. But most of the men, after they are working in the morning, then they are free in the afternoon. They can go to coffee shop, yeah, and drink coffee and then talking with their friends, but not the women. And I also observe many many girls didn't got to continue their study after they finish their primary schools. And that's how I have the realization that boys and girls are different. There is an inequality. And that's how I continue. When I went to university, I took a few subjects that made me further realize that there are much inequality. And that's how I make up my mind that I want to pursue, or how to make it more equal, how to make men and women more equal. That's a simple me background. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madam, for your wonderful background. So we understand that you're very much involved in social activities and in civil societies. So during your younger days, could you please share your interests and concerns for the society, such as how were you able to help and reach those segments of the society who are in need of help and moral support?
When I graduated from the university, I made up my mind that I will not work a job that will cause public hazard, because in my days in the university, I had studied quite a few things like agriculture, how insecticides are used, and which is not good for the workers. So one of my lecturer has made me kind of think, we should not work the job that can cause a public hazard. So this is how I make up my mind. So after that, I work in an NGO. I work in schools as teachers. I also work in consumer associations. Then I participated, or I work in a Women Center for Change. Earlier not work, but as the committee member in Women Crisis Center. I also was a chairperson for an HIV/AIDS NGO. To me, I think we should be a good global citizen to make the world a better place. So if everyone can do a little bit, just not to harm the world, then the world will be better. That's how I was thinking at that time when I was younger. Yeah.
That's really great. If we all could do that, just do what we can to make the world a better place. If we can all just have that in mind. So Honorable Madam Chong Eng, we are very happy to know that you're also very much an active sportswoman during your school university days. We'd like to know what are the sports events activities that you had played and what are your highest sports achievements?
My house, our house, when I was little, we lived next to a basketball court. So my brothers, my sister, all play basketball. And so I follow them. One of my teacher was the coach. So I have a 6 sister. There was a time all of us will play, is half the team already, because a team consists of 10 to 12. So we all play basketball, and later other people also play badminton on the basketball court, and also volleyball. So I learned from there. So I pick up many things that I went in the university. I also play volleyball. I play table tennis. Only thing I don't play is hockey, because I feel hockey is quite dangerous. And the highest is, I remember when I was in the university 2nd or 3rd year, I was selected to go for the ASEAN University Game in Jakarta. Yeah, so I won a bronze in javelin throwing. So many people were quite surprised, because javelin thrower or discus thrower, they are quite big size. But because my size are not that big, so people are quite surprised when they know that I can throw javelin. So I guess sport is very important. Sport, now I realize, later on I realize, sport teaches to compete, to compete with skills. You want to win your game with skills, with what you have, and not playing fault. And I think it's good for children to play sport, so that they know if they train hard, then they can win a game. When they lose a game, it's also not the end of the day. You can try again and win it later. So sport is really great to me. I feel it's really good. It trained my character of not afraid to be lose. Because you lose, you can win again if you work hard.
So sports does develop character and sportsmanship at the same time.
Yes, yes.
Honorable Madam, what made you decide to enter politics? Let's talk about politics now. Could you please share your thoughts between the differences of social services and political services?
Yeah. So I was in NGO, and as I told you just now, I realized there's inequality. Men and women are not the same. So one of my passion is to how to make men and women more equal. Yeah, and when I was in women crisis center, yeah. So a lot of things, when we advocate for a better law, yeah, we will have to lobby the politicians, lobby the parliamentarians, yeah. So later I was thinking to myself, why not go into politics? Because politics is the most direct way that you can change things. If you want to amend the law, then you can be the process. You want to enact a law, if you are a parliamentarian, then you can be one of them. Yeah, that's where we can amend all the discriminative law. But after I went into politics, then I realized things are not so simple. Yeah, you don't have to lobby. You are the politician. Now people lobby me, but sometimes unable to bring changes, because, for example, that we have a law of talking about enacting an anti-sexual harassment law. It's already 20 years, and just only recently it get tabled to the parliament. Why it takes so long? Because many employers who are bosses, they disagree. They disagree to have this law. So to me, it boils down to there are too few women parliamentarians, too few voices, not enough voices to represent the women's issues. And that's why the progress is so slow. Yeah, the progress is so slow. There is a difference. For NGO, you do services. Yeah, services is a must. But in politics, as a politicians, I try to bring changes through enactment, through law. And I try to bring change. Now I'm in the government. When I was in the parliament, I was in the oppositions. Now I'm in the government. I try to do policy, to enact policy that can bring changes. For example, in Penang, when we become government in 2008, there's one thing we do, that is to establish an agency that is called Penang Women Development Corporation. No other state, we have 14 states in Malaysia. No other state have this type or have this agency. In short, we call it PWDC. Only Penang has. And before that, before we become the government, there is also a portfolio called Women Development, but it gets only 200,000 per year. After we have this PWDC, we have a location of 1.5 million, and we focus in women empowerment and increase women representation, and also how to create platform. So we have a list law called not law, is policy called gender inclusiveness policy, which brings quite a lot of differences. For example, now we have in the Penang state government a lot of participation. We want to have at least 30%, but our gender inclusive policy says 40-40-20. That means in every policy making, it must have 40% men, 40% women, and 20% open for competition, men and women, so that no man or woman, no one gender will be monopolying the decision making, no more than 60%. Now in our parliament, 85% are men, 15% women, and so are at the state assembly as well. In all the important decision making forums, they are mainly nominated by men, and that's why we have not enough voices, not enough representation in women's issue and women's agenda. So to me, politics, though sometimes it's very slow, but this is still the area, the field that can bring about changes. But you must have enough women representation, and also we have to have more people are aware. We need to have like, for example, prime minister or the male minister, they must understand that we need both men and women to make a better decisions for all. That's how I feel.
Thank you, Honorable. There definitely needs to be more women leaders like you, and Malaysia is lucky to have you leading the way towards gender equality. Honorable Madam Chong, there are many unresolved issues about women. We celebrated International Women's Day on the 8th of March, and the theme of 2022's International Women's Day is Break the Bias.
Yes. Yes.
What and how do you think that women can play a better role in the society?
I always think how the society can be more friendly, more enabling for women. Yeah. We in Penang we celebrate International Women's Day every year, and we are getting more and more people and organizations to get involved to understand why we celebrate International Women's Day. Sometimes there are men who ask me, why you have only Women's Day? Why you don't have Men's Day? Yeah, I told them every day is a Men's Day. Only one day is Women's Day. Because you look at your whole society, who controls the politics? Who controls the economy? Who controls the money? All men, many men, majority men. And that's why the gender gap is so big. That's why we need to have platform and programs to reduce the gender gap, the gap between the men and women. Then they can understand better. So we have in Penang, and Penang is the only state government that officially celebrate International Women's Day every year since 2008. And for this year, I must have attended more than, including today, is 12 events of International Women's Day. And there are some more, because whole the month of March is International Women's Day. We took the opportunity to raise the awareness that the gender gap is still big, and we need to reduce the gender gap, and we need the woman to also realize, we need the women to come forward, but at the same time, it is equally important for the state, for the government to have a better policy, more woman-friendly policy at the workplace, so that to encourage women can balance motherhood, parenthood, and their job. Many women can't balance their job and their and taking care of their families, and many of them give up jobs finally to be a full-time housewife. I'm not saying full-time housewife is no good. I mean, if the woman thinks they want to become the full-time housewife, it is fine, well and good, because being a housewife is not an easy job as well. You do not have a salary, you do not have a pension funds, you don't even have sick leave, but you have to work 24/7. But nowadays we have a woman who are highly educated, so why not we retain them on the job? Because when there is no more women working, then the GDP will go up, of the nation will go up, the family income will be better. But of course, we have to balance it. The state government or the government must provide childcare systems. We must have more family support system. We must allow parental leave. We must allow flexi working time for mothers or fathers. So these are the things I think during every International Women's Day, we should remind ourselves, we should remind the government to reduce gender gap. We need to do many other things. The system must be more gender friendly. The system must be more parents friendly, especially for working mothers.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Chong. So you mentioned that International Women's Day is 8th of March. There is actually also an International Men's Day, and it's November 19 as well. So
okay.
Gender discrimination, when we talk about that, as you've discussed earlier, and then there's sexual harassment, abuse, cruelty, physical and emotional injuries that are common occurrences among women folks. So what are the steps taken by the relevant authorities to address these social ills affecting the vulnerable women individuals groups?
Okay. For this Penang, we organize. We have campaign called Penang Goes Orange during November, from 25th November to 10th of December. 10th of December is the International Human Rights Day, and November 25th is the International Day to eliminate all form of discrimination and violence against women. We have consistently have this campaign for last 14 years and is growing from strength to strength. I see that more people are aware now. Yeah, domestic violence is not a family affair. Yeah, domestic violence is a crime, and people are, and the victims are entitled to support. So as more people speak out for sexual harassment, yeah, and we are hoping that in this year the Parliament will enact the law. But to be effective, to eliminate or stop violence against women, during the COVID, during the pandemic, everywhere, all over the world, there are more violence against women, especially in the home, domestic violence. Yeah, I was I was involved in this kind of work since my time in Women Crisis Center, and I realized it's not that women do not know their rights, just that they are so powerless. They are not able to get out from that kind of abusive situation because their power are so unequal, and they need support. They need more support. So Penang State Government, we enacted a policy. We have a policy called Safe Family Policy, which is to give support to the victims of domestic violence. So we also work with NGO, work with WCC to train more people to understand how to handle domestic violence, how to give support to the victims. And we set up many first support points at the service center of the elected representative, at all the government counters, and also NGOs. And we also try to get this religious body, religious association, the churches, the Buddhist association, the temples, who are able to act as first support points. If there is a victim walk in, and they can give her the protection so that she will not be further abused, and try to help her by calling the police, accompany her to the police. If she's injured, take her to the hospital, or call the social welfare department officer. I think by this simple work, then more victims will be able to come out from the kind of abusive relationship. And everyone can do. Everyone is able to do it. Just that many times, I don't know about in England, but in Asia, we always think these are family affair, and you should not tell, all the, or you should not watch the dirty dinners in the public. But I think this kind of mentality is slowly changing with our campaign and more awareness. It is very well received. The training of the becoming first support point is very well received. I hope in one day where every individual can become the first support point. That means every individual, when they see something like domestic violence happen, and they can give support, then I think it will be greatly reduced. The violence, the cases of violence will be greatly reduced. So to me, I feel as government, what we need to do is to build the enabling environment, to build a more gender equal ecosystem. Of course, it's important you help the individual, but policy is much more, policy and infrastructure is much more important. So that's what I'm trying to do, to build enabling environment and ecosystem, to empower not just women, but also they are men who also fall victim to violence. So this is for both men and women, not just women alone, but of course, there are more women victims. And that's why we're still emphasizing on empowering the woman.
Thank you, Honorable Madam. So what are the signs that we have to watch out for when it comes to abuse? What are the red flags and when should we seek help?
Okay. For prevention, for any young ladies out there, when you making friends and you are thinking of settling down with a friend, boyfriend, I think it's very important. This person must respect you as a person. It must not try to control you, control your movement, that you cannot go here, you cannot go there. Because always this kind of over jealousies, it will become abusive later on. This is one. Secondly, I think if society are more open, that people are more willing to help, then I think they'll be able to see, a victim will be able to come forward. There's one thing, during this March, on the 10th of March, the Muslim mosque, for the first time, they talk about domestic violence. This is because we have talked to them for quite some time, and we give training to them on the first support point. And they also, they are very receptive, and they think it is something that is good to everyone should know. So I think we will go through mosques, go through churches throughout, to give them this kind of messages that you have to respect whoever, inclusive your wife, your daughter, the staff in your office, and nobody should use violence against another. So I think this is the way to go. Get everybody involved and become our friend to stop violence against women, especially, and children.
We're learning a lot from you today, Honorable Madam Chong. We understand that there is a department under your Penang State Ministry that caters for the welfare and development of women, the Penang Women Development Council. Could you please highlight for us the role played by PWDC and how it has answered to the needs of the women?
Yeah, just now I have mentioned this PWDC is called Penang Women Development Cooperation. Was established after we took over the Penang as the state government in 2008. So PWDC's job is to carry out program to empower the woman. Yeah, and the main focus is to mainstream gender into policy and programs through capacity building and advocacy. One key milestone was the state's adoption of gender inclusiveness policy. No other state have this policy. I think many other countries also do not have this policy yet, but we have this policy, and we implement planning to put in to take gender perspective in planning and implementation processes, including gender responsive and participatory budgeting. And that means when we, for example, we want to upgrade a park, a neighborhood park, we will go through a process called gender participation, responsive and participatory budgeting. You have a budget of, let's say, of 100,000. So how to use this 100,000? Maybe we want to upgrade the facilities. So we will ask the local residents, men and women, boys and girls, because men and women, they use different facilities. Every morning I see a lot of women, they will do line dancing in the park. But men, they will do the jogging. Boys and girls play different things. So this is what we mean. In every project, we must do stakeholders consultation. And this is what the state is going to do. We are setting a policy. Yeah, this is one. Another one is, just now I will say, the men and women must have a gender balance management, must have 40-40-20, 40% men, 40% women, and 20% open for competition in all levels of decision making. So we have, for example, we have a committee called Local Community Development Committee. So it consists of 15 members. It must have at least 30% women. And we have make it in 2021. And we also have, now we also say all the government linked company in their board of director must try to reach at least 30% women. And so as city councillor, our city councillor is by appointment, not like in England is by election. So we also say we must also achieve the target of a minimum 30% women. And now, hopefully in the state assembly, we also want to achieve this target, at least 30% women. Now we only have 15%. But of course, we still have some hurdles to cross. But I think if we persist, I guess we can we are able to achieve that. So is to increase the number of representation, women representation, because this is what democracy is all about, representation. Women also need, women account for 50% of the population. So it must have at least 30% to represent the women and the girls, not just women and the girls. Women are also the carer for senior citizens. So women are also representing the senior citizen. So as the family, because a lot of family are managed by women, and family have their family issues and family welfare, which needs policy protection. So there will be a woman, only usually is woman, who is going to talk on these issues. I mean, I have been in parliament for 3 terms. I have been in the state for 2 terms. Very, very few people or parliamentarian talk about women's issues like rape, like teenage pregnancy. Almost nobody talking about it. Because women also have to talk about mainstream issues. And men talk about hard issues. So this kind of social issue, very, very few people talk about it. That is because there is not enough women's representation. So to me, to increase women representation is the most urgent and most effective way of reducing gender inequality. Yeah.
Honorable Madam Chong, how do we increase more women participation? Because there is a challenge. How do we encourage more women leadership?
Yeah, I think England, your Labour Party has a very good policy. It has the policy of, they put the policy of at least 30% of their candidate must be women. Yeah, since 1995, and they achieved 30% now. So it's very important to put in affirmative action policy. All over the world, there are many countries has implemented certain form of affirmative actions. Like India, in India, their local government, they have fixed 30% of the local council must be women. Only women can contest, 30% of women can contest in this seat. And this is common in some other area as well. They will have a woman seat, woman reserve seat. Some area even have youth reserve seat. But in countries like Germany, like Australia, like New Zealand, they practice another part of electoral system where they have proportional system. So when in the proportional system, then they will have a party list. The party list, then they fix it that it must be either in 3 names, there's 1 woman, so it's at least 1/3. Or now, more progressive one, they will have name the list, it must be 1 man, 1 woman, or 1 woman, 1 man. Among the 2 candidates or 2 lists, 2 names, one must be man and 1 must be woman. And that's how then it will increase. It will be very effectively increase the number of women in parliament or in decision making.
And also, Honorable Madam, what we've seen, it's like women have shown and proved to be good and sometimes even better leaders, not only when it comes to family circles, but they've also demonstrated this with excellent charismatic leadership qualities. So what do you think is the feedback of the men folk about this, about women's leadership?
There are some men who are very open-minded, like my chief minister. He has supported all the gender to increase the gender representation, that he have supported all this policy. But in general, still many people still don't understand the rationale behind it. Even some of the women, they also don't understand. Some women disagree on this affirmative action. They feel they can compete on their own. And if we are using this supposed called reserve seat or quota, at least the target 30% target, then they feel their values are being diluted. I mean, they have their point, for people who are very capable, yeah. But however, as a whole, globally, we see in the whole world, the parliament have only about 20% women. In average, is only 20% women, 80% are men. And the richest men, the richest people, the top richest people in the world, mainly men. And so the men, they sit at the powerful positions and they are very rich. So there will be inequality in between men and women. So that's why we need to have more women to be in the decision making. Then only that we will make better decision, one. And secondly, we are talking about sustainable development now. If we keep 50% of the population, at home and not in a productive economy work or not in the decision-making position, then we will not do very well. We must make full use of all our talents, whether it's man or woman. Then we will. Then I would think our society will develop better. Will be better. Yeah. If we need a man's brain, we also needs women's brain. I mean, they are men who are make a good leaders. They are also women make very good leaders, especially in handling the COVID, the COVID pandemic. We see the countries that lead by women do very well in controlling. And of course, women can multitask. Women are very detailed. Nowadays, some of the men has recognized that. I have a friend who are engineer. They think woman engineer, yeah, more details, so can complement each other. So I think men and women are different, but have probably have different talents, different character. If we can complement each other, then we can do better decision, make better decisions. That's why we need to have more women decision makers.
We need men and women to complement each other. That's a good thing. Thank you, Honorable Madam. More and more women are coming forward to take up big challenges in life. What is your opinion on this? Will this disrupt or break the family's closeness or family members? Could you please share your ideas on your universal roles of women as peacemakers as well?
I think I didn't do a lot of study in that, but I do feel if women is the one who make decision whether to go to war or not, I think many women will not make the decision to go to war, because women are caregiver. We take care of our young ones. So when we take care of young ones, we wouldn't want to send them to war. So we also think about other people's children. Yeah. So I would think children, women will be more peace loving. Women avoid confrontational. Women avoid clash all the times. So I think in peacemaking process, yeah, the United Nations should include more women in the peacemaking conference or in the meeting.
So women are more peacemakers, more peaceful people, hopefully.
Yeah. Because we take care of people at home. We take care of the young ones.
We're more nurturing.
Yeah, we're more nurturing. Yes. And we don't want war, which kills.
Yeah, and if we could avoid war at all costs.
Yeah.
Honorable Madam, you wear many hats. Your roles as a sister, wife, mother, mother-in-law, a leader in society, a member of the Penang State Legislative Assembly, and as a spokeswoman to numerous local and world bodies. This week is the week of solidarity with the people struggling against racism and racial discrimination, March 21 to 27.
Yes.
Honorable Madam, what is your say on unity in a multi-ethnic cultural society?
Well, I'm also happen to be the chairperson for Penang Harmony Corporation under my portfolio as a non-Islamic affair chairperson. We just, for this week, we just have a week of Harmony Week. So we organize activity. For example, the other day, we went to walk the Harmony Street, which your Prince Charles have been there to walk the street. Yeah, because that street, you have the church, you have a Christian church, you have, we also have mosque, and also Indian temples. At that time, this all not by design. This, people just accept that it can be exist side by side. But now, some of the areas we see, religion clash. They cannot live together. To me, I think the most important fabric of the society is to live together in harmony. Harmony in diversity. So that's why we set up this, in short form, is called Harmonico, only last year, to maintain, to promote understanding between different religion, different faith, different culture, and to promote unity in diversity. Because if you don't understand the culture of other people, it can be very easily have a misunderstanding. And once we know each other better, then I think we all can be friends, and we understand that we can live together. Yeah, even though we are of a different religion, we are of a different color skin, or we eat differently. There are some things that you eat, I don't eat, but it is fine. So have to respect the differences. The most important thing is to respect the difference. When you and I, we are, even though we are all women, but we are from the different countries. Yeah, we speak the same language, but we probably eat different things. I eat rice every day. You probably eat bread and eat salad. I cannot eat salad every day, but it's okay. I can eat bread with you most of the time. Then if we cannot eat the same thing, it's okay. You eat yours, I eat mine. No problems. The most important things is the understanding of the values. Probably the values are the same, even though we are different religion. But all religions teach people to lead, to be in peace with your neighbor, to love your neighbors, and not creating war. So it's very important. Yes, if there is no peace, there is no harmony, then there is no quality of life in the community. So it's very important, and that's what we want to keep it. Yeah, Penang is very diverse, is very multiracial, and at the same time, I would think we celebrate the differences, and we can live in harmony in diversity and unity in diversity. So I hope you come one day to Penang and see for yourself. I take you to walk the street where the Prince Charles has walked.
Thank you, Honorable Madam. We agree with you that harmony and unity in diversity is a beautiful concept, and respect and understanding are needed.
Yes.
So I'm just going to be reading comments from our virtual audience. So let's say hi to them. There's Tonggi Grau. He's watching from the Philippines. Happy Andrada watching from Manila. John O'Flynn is saying great show. Ala Jasen Ayaru is saying good sharing. And Peter S.H. Chia is saying good evening to everyone. Saras Pillai is saying great awareness. Saraswati Swati is saying well said. And then Professor Dato Dr. G.P. Doraisamy is saying wonderful presentation by Honorable Madame Chong Eng. You had an illustrious sports involvement during your student days in the university. World badminton champion. Dato Lee Chong Wei is from Penang State, world squash racket queen. And Dato Nicole David is from Penang State. He has a question for you. His question is, what are the elements and qualities required for aspiring sportsmen and sportswomen to become world sports champions,
I think I come to realize in Malaysia context, the parents play a very, very important part to nurture or to train, because parents will have to take their children to go for training, bring back from training, follow them when they go for competition. And then when they come to a state standard, then the state will help. Come to national standard, then the national will take over them. the most important thing is the parents' support, and then the interest of the athlete themselves. If they have the interest, then they will train hard. Of course, also we must have good coaches. Then we can have a international standard, because like, for example, like Nico Levitt, the squash queen, when she was 5 to 6 years old, the parents bring her to the squash court and play. They train her. I see a lot of national, international athletes is from very young. The parents have trained her and instill in them the discipline. Yeah, you need to have a very good discipline. Yep.
So we need to have good discipline. And then I'm going to read more comments from our virtual audience. Rushikesh Sanjivani Ashok is saying, well said, madam.
Thank you.
And thank you. Hello to EM Derekito. Professor Dato Dr. GP Dore Sami has another question for you. So Honorable Madam Chong Eng, the last 2 pandemic years was a very challenging period and had badly affected many individuals and families. His question is, what are the steps and measures taken by your own Penang State Office in handling broken families, single mothers, tendencies to commit suicides, depression, separation, and divorce issues?
This is not a simple question to answer, yeah, because this is complicated. The cause of it is very complicated. Besides the pandemic, yeah, but instead the Penang State, we have tried to help all those who are affected, especially those from low-income family. So all the government backbenchers, the government's elected rep, are supposed to look out for the cases that they need help in their own constituency. And when the pandemic was so high at that time, and the health system is at the verge of collapsing, we all went in. The government also set up hotlines to help to call those who were tested positive. In fact, my office, everybody's office, are setting up a phone line to call those who are tested positive and ask them whether you are okay. Do you need help? What do you need? If they need food, if they need oximeter, if they need they need to go to hospital and then they can't, they don't have transport, we will try to arrange all that. That is one. The other one, we also set up, I think I want to thank the Penang's community. There are so many NGOs that come forward to help. And we have a alliance, Penang Health Alliance, that many NGO have formed an alliance. Those who are working with mental health, they come forward and they provide counseling facilities. We also have many people come forward to donate equipments, the equipments needed by the hospitals, like oximeter, like many things at that time that they do not have. So it's really, to me, I think, one, we are lucky to have a very civil society, very vibrant civil society, which come forward to help. Another thing I would think is also because the state government are working hard and people can see that, and that's why they also come in and help. So I would say now, even though the rate of infection is still high, but as most of the people have vaccinated, were vaccinated, and even have the booster, so they get a very mild symptoms now. And hopefully very soon this will be over and economic will be better, will pick up better. But even when we are during this pandemic, the Penang still get a lot of investment. And Penang is the number one state that give the most amount of investment. So I must say, I'm thankful to the Penang people, thankful to people still help out Penang and have a confidence in Penang. People like Dato' Roraisamy, yeah, is our friend. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Dato Dr. GP Doraisamy, for your questions. And thank you, Honorable Madam Chong Eng, for answering the questions really well. And then so we have another question from Tonggi Gra. Well, he's saying, a very inspiring, and I truly believe that sports can help have a peaceful mind. Do you think that companies and many politics should include sports activities as weekly routine in order to make better decisions?
I would think every individual will have to make that decision. I mean, for me, when I was in charge of sport, I actually realized government can give you everything, can give you the good part, can give you the good facilities, infrastructure, but you yourself will have to exercise. Yeah, so I think you yourself, everyone will have to cultivate a good habit to walk either 10,000 miles, 10,000 steps a day, or 5,000 steps, or even 2,000 steps. You have to consistently do it. Walk for 20 minutes a day, and it will make your days different, make your life different. So I think I think these are a personal must make a decision, and you must put your exercising time in your schedule. Otherwise, you never have times. You must exercise even you have no time. You must make time. Otherwise, there will be a day you will have to have time to go to hospitals. So which one is better? You better give yourself time to exercise now.
We must make time for exercise.
Now.
Now. Now. No
later.
excuses.
No excuses. Yes.
And we have a comment from Win Wonderful. She's saying, thank you, Honorable Madam Chong Eng. You're a true inspiration to us women from around the world. And then we have another comment from Jaya Raman Manusamy. He's saying, thank you for your great talk. In the past, people respected diversity, but now people don't. What could be the real problem in your opinion?
I can only speak for Malaysia. I think it's bad politicians that divide the people. That some politicians use religion and race for their own political agenda, which is very irresponsible. So I think, yes, we must watch out for this kind of politicians, and people must exercise their votes wisely. Yeah, vote only the politicians, candidates that is responsible and truly want to work for the good of the nation and the people, not for their own. So it cannot, for this, it's difficult to rectify, yeah, because this will depends on how voters vote their representative, and we must not give any chance to anyone besides politicians who use race and religion for their own personal agenda. We have to protect the harmony in our community.
we have to do what we can to protect the community.
Yes.
That's a good thing to say. We've got some pictures that we got from your social media accounts. So could you
Ah,
please just tell
okay.
us something about it, please?
It is before Chinese New Year. So I went to my one of the wet market in my constituency to give them some nice wording that they can stick in their house for some very good meaning. For example, happy and happy, wealthy, and good for everything. The words means good for the year to come. Yeah, and these are my supporter and some of my beside me on my left, the one beside me is the member of parliament for Bukit Mertajam. So this how we that's how we get in touch base with our voters. Goes to wet market because there are people doing marketings, many people there. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then we have more pictures. We've got, oh, and then we also have a question from Jayaraman Manusami.
Okay.
And he's asking, do you have any action plan for people to accept diversity?
Yes. That's why we our the Harmony Street. We are going to go and identify more areas in the state. For example, in the town of Bukit Mertajam, we also have in a very short distance, we have a Chinese, a very old Chinese temple. Then we have Indian temples and also a St. Anne Church. Then go further down, there is a Buddhist retreat center. So we are going to identify all this and promote it so that family can bring their children, school can bring their students to visit these places, to know the history of different temples or the house of worship, and to know the religion itself. Yeah, so this is something like it is good for the family activity, students activity, youth activity, and even for tourists, for neighbor state tourists, for the tourists from England.
Yes, we have more pictures to share. So this
okay.
one.
This is the Jising School old boys, the association came to visit me to discuss a digital library in Bukit Mertajam. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have more of those as well. And then this one.
This is the recent Johor state election. We went for campaign for the one in the poster, Marina. Yeah, if you can see, we mainly women there, because we go and campaign for women candidates. And this is also a night market. Night market. Okay. Next. This is an international Women's Day event in one of the town in Penang, in a more outskirt town in Penang. This is the we attended the International Women's Day night, the dinner organized by the ministry, by the government, where the Prime Minister came to give a speech. And together with me is my colleague from another state. And also we are all women minister in charge of the women portfolio. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is another online on the online forum on International Women's Day. So you see, we all have the sign of break the bias. Yeah, this is also another IWD when I was speaking at the in the IWD Zoom forum. Yep, this is our design. Stop stereotype. And this is for International Women's Day. We design, PWDC designs this for us to use and break the bias. Thank you. Yeah, this is my Facebook. Yeah, if anyone interested can just visit my Facebook. It's called Gender Inclusiveness. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chong Eng, Honorable.
You.
Thank you. And also, could you please let our virtual audience know how to get in touch with you on social media?
Yeah, I have, you can go to my social media, go to my Facebook and leave a message to me.
And then, so I'm going to read more comments from our virtual audience. There is Dr. Honorable Anil Kohli. He's saying wonderful. And then Jaya Raman Manusami is saying, thank you, Madam Chong Eng. Mitali Karma Kar is saying, good evening, all respected dear excellency. Welcome from Bangladesh, WHD chapter, wonderful program, best wishes. And it's also going to be Bangladesh's Independence Day, I think tomorrow. So happy Independence Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
WHD Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And then, so we'd like to ask you a question that we always ask our audience, Honorable Madam Chong Eng. What is your inspiring message to the world?
I think be strong. You know, follow the Inspiring Millions show. That you will have a lot of people were inspiring you, and I think you have a great platform, a great show that you connect people or women all over the world. Yeah. To me, I think women will have to work hard, work doubly hard. It is a transitional time from many thousand years ago until today. Women has made progress, but many of us still work double shift. Then you work in your office and then you go home, you still have another shift. So I would like to, you know, more women to join in the change. You become a game changer yourself. But to become a game changer, you still have to work very hard, because I also see many women that they are the manager in their office, and they also managers in their home, but they're still very happy. They make bread, they cook, they're still able to cook every day, most of the day. Even now we can grab. So I guess they are happy, they are willing to do that. Then I think more women will be able to sit in the decision-making positions and be happy about it, even though you have to work doubly hard or triply hard.
And when we empower women, we also empower the men.
Sometimes.
So in a way, when women step up in their leadership positions, this can also help men as well?
Yes. For example, if in a family, in a home, if both are equally strong, then the strong and become even stronger. If one is strong, one is not so strong, then you know you will have to become average. So it's good that both are strong. There is a word say, men and women are like the two wings of a bird. The two wings must be equally strong. Then the bird can fly far and high. If one wing is strong and one wing is weak, you fly nowhere. Yep.
Thank you so much for inspiring us today. And then Happy Andrade saying, so inspiring, and Tong Gigar saying, excellent show, and Clarice de la Costa, hi there. So thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, sharing your words of wisdom, and inspiring the world with your story. It is important to know about her story, which is your story. So we need to add her story in history for us to have the full picture of our story.
Yes.
So in honor of international recognition for your virtue in persistently serving and inspiring humanity with your noble deeds, World Humanitarian Drive would like to award you Honorable Madame Chong with Inspiring Humanitarian Award.
Oh,
And
that is
so right here.
Huh?
Yes,
Oh.
we'd like to. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Honorable Madame Chong Yang?
Thank you so much. And I hope you keep up your good work. And so is WHD. I think it means a lot to many women around the world. Yeah, you will encourage more people to do more work. And yeah, I'm really inspired by you. Yeah.
You inspire us. Thank you so much for inspiring us today, for inspiring the world as well. And with that, we would like to share a quotation by our very inspiring guest, Honorable Madame Chong Eng. Could you please read it for us?
Eliminate gender stereotypes. They have a negative impact not only on women, but also on men. Everyone should be encouraged to follow their dreams, regardless of their gender. Yep, many men did not realize stereotyping also affect them. So we must make them realize so that they can support gender equality. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much, Honorable Madame Chong Eng, Penang State Legislative Assembly Member for Padang Lalang, State Minister for Social Development and Non-Islamic Religious Affairs, Malaysia. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Honorable Madame Chong Eng, that it motivated you to empower women, get women involved in economic and political sectors of society. Here on Inspiring Millions Show, we present you with brilliant people from around the world, so feel free to connect with them on social media, and together, let's make a difference in the world. We definitely all need inspiration, and especially in these times. Listening to people's stories enrich our lives. If today's discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, whd.org.uk, for more inspiring events. WHD would like to greet all those celebrating their birthdays and those celebrating their special milestones this week. Happy celebrations. Happy Women's Month. Happy Mothering Sunday to those in the UK. Happy Independence Day to those in Bangladesh. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. On behalf of WHD team, especially those working behind the scenes, WHD Chairman Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, WHD Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, WHD's 12 Honorable Secretary Generals, we thank you, our virtual audience from around the world, for joining us and supporting our show. This has been World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Millions Show. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn. Please join us again next week. We will have an interesting discussion with Mike Unson of the Philippines as we inspire the world here on Inspiring Millions Show.